O Great Spirit, Namaste. Saints and sages of all times, of all places, Namaste. O ye pathmakers of old, Namaste. Ancestors, ancestors, ancestors of our bloodlines, ancestors of all of the lineages to whom we attune, Namaste. O ye rulers of the air, the earth, the fire, the water, the ether, Namaste. Most beloved and precious, infinite Lord of stillness, most beloved and precious Ishtadevata, in all of thy names, in all of thy forms, and in thy formless reality, whomever each attunes to, we bow to thee, we call upon thee, we ask thee to be with us, to sweep clear our path. Lift us, lift us, lift, lift, lift. In this moment, may we choose, may we use the freedom that we have to choose to build our skills, our strength of equanimity, of clear seeing, of compassion, of detachment. We call upon thee to give us strength at this moment, to bring us the strength in all of the parts of our beings, the strength which we need, as we need it most. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste. Namaskar. Well, here we are. Here we are. Sunday. I hope by you it's a beautiful Sunday. Here it is. The sun is out. It's a nice, nice day. For several weeks we've been talking about the time that we are entered into, that we have entered into. And here it is upon us. Last Thursday, the planet Mars entered into the sign of the zodiac of Aries. Well, it's no big deal. It does that every 2 years. That's not an issue. The issue is the other planets that are with it. This week, the 18th, you make it 16, 17, 18, 19. For the first time since the 1300s, Aries is in, Mars is in Aries, but it is there with Saturn and Neptune. Now, if you don't know what that means, it's probably good to take a moment and say, why do we care? You know, what is that? Who cares, really? What is that about? Well, it's a time that's giving us an opportunity for a lot of spiritual growth, a lot of spiritual discipline, a lot of choices to make. Choices to make each day, choices to make each and every day. Not always the easiest, my beloved, really, but choices that we have to make. Aries is the symbol of the ram. It's the outgoing energy. It's really the pouring out of the ego self. This feeling of I am, I am, I am, I am. But it is the beginning of the signs of the zodiac. So you've heard me say this before. I'm saying it again so that you will pay attention. It must be important if it's being repeated. It's not just that I don't have anything else to say. When a new time gate opens, it's important for each of us to say, oh, it's a new time. Karma, the law of cause and effect, karma works upon the earth very simply. There is the potential of the karma that you have to have manifested in this life. But karma may only manifest at a specific time, at a specific place. And that's vital to know. And we've arrived at the time when for all of us around the world, the entire world, the karma is manifesting. It will escalate. The Mars coming up to conjunct the Saturn and the Neptune means that there will be an escalation. Now you might ask, what is the Saturn and Neptune? Well, Saturn is the foundation. Saturn is the skin. It's the ending of things. It's the removing of things. It's death, if you will. But everything that's born dies. Everything that dies is reborn. I was at the Chicago Symphony last night with my husband, and the entire concert was beautiful, really beautiful. But it was all death themes. And I thought, now isn't this interesting? Saturn, Neptune. And the orchestra playing is Mars. The orchestra is having a lot of effort to play that music. But the Saturn is your life. The Neptune is either what inspires you, what transforms you, or what dissolves away, dilutes what you're trying to do. Now, Mars is your temper. Mars is your energy. Mars is anger. But, hear me, Mars is the physical energy that we need to walk through the world. You need that energy. You have to have that energy, or you won't be able to get up and walk. You won't be able to. You'll be lethargic. If you don't have any energy, you know what happens to people at the end of their lives. All the energy leaves from their bodies. So we want to use this energy, and we want to use it wisely. But how to do that? How is that to be done? Well, in Kriya Yoga, I would say to you that one of the gifts of Kriya Yoga is the understanding of the laws of karma. The law of karma says that you and you alone, oh, this is a real bear, you and you alone create the karma that comes into your life. You and you alone are responsible for softening that karma. God didn't do it to you. God's not a master puppeteer. Mom didn't do it to you. Dad didn't do it to you. You are responsible for what needs to be done. It's a royal pain in the gazocks, isn't it? Who wants to hear that? Who wants to hear that they are responsible for this? It's powerful. Absolutely powerful. Because it means that you can choose how you react to anything that comes into your life. Whether you choose to ignite that match, or whether you choose to sit back and be the magnet against the wood, or the wood against the magnet. If you're the wood, the magnet cannot stick to you. If you're wet wood, the fire can't burn you. You need to know what you need to do at this time in your life. You and I, we can't, pretty clear that we're not going to be, most of us at least, nobody I know that's here, is going to be able to solve or stop the bombings that are occurring around the world, the destruction of people's lives, their health, their homes. What can you do? What can I do? Is the deep question. Oh, Kriya Yoga says there's something I can do. I wonder what that is. You remember the story of Indra's net. Indra's net is the net that encompasses all reality. And in Indra's net, you are a jewel. You are a light in Indra's net. But the reality, the net is connected. It's woven together. So whatever light shines in one little part of the net radiates through the whole net. Even the parts of the net that look like they are filled with gluey, sticky, icky karma. Your light radiates through that. So what you do, what I do, what we choose in every given moment is affecting the whole. Now it means really simply this. You see something really not good that's happening in the world. Now, do you choose to become angry about it? I can't help it. My mind just becomes upset. I can't help it. My mind becomes angry. Okay. So what? You choose to say, neti, neti, neti. I'm not this thought. I'm not going to pass this on. Neti, neti, neti. I'm not the thought thinking this thought. I'm not thought. I will not grow the bombing. I will not grow the hatred. I will not grow the indifference. I will not grow the hunger, the greed. No. I'm going to choose to grow the kindness, the compassion, the understanding. I'm going to choose to grow ahimsa, nonviolence. It does not say, my beloved, this is so important. The practices, the teachings, it doesn't say, well, here, you got to turn on the switch and you're never going to feel like this again. You're never going to have an angry thought in your mind again. You're never going to be fear-filled again. It doesn't say that. That's not what you're being asked to do. You're being asked to simply choose for just a moment to lift higher than the vibrations around you, to become a piece of wood so that the thoughts, the gluey, sticky thoughts cannot magnetize to you. That's what we're being asked to do. Now, isn't it remarkable? You have the freedom to choose. Now, here's the rub. Here's really the rub. The mind would like you to think that it is in charge. The mind would like you to think that all the emotions that it contains, that it reveals, that it attaches itself to, that all of these things are in control. Really? Neti, 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 neti. Your higher self is in control. I've had people say to me, well, I thought the thought and I couldn't help it. I had to go do it. Did you stop and take a breath? That's all you gotta do, stop and take a breath. Just stop and take a breath. How about if we do that for a moment? Just stop, shut your eyes. Ah, isn't that better? And what happens? Everything changes when you do that, when you choose to do that. Your breath is your best friend. It's with you. You don't have to go to a sauna to pay attention to your breath. You don't have to sit and have gong lessons or mantra lessons. Your body knows how to breathe. Just close the eyes and breathe for just a moment. Try it again. Now in that breath, you hear the silence. In that breath, you feel the silence. In that breath, you experience the silence. And thus you have the capacity, you gain the skills that you need to soften your reaction. Karma, we think, oh, the karma. Hey, we've got a lot of good karma. We wouldn't have found these teachings if we didn't have a lot of good karma. We do. You and I do. Much good karma that we've built, that we've strengthened. But there are many types of karma. There are many phases to karma. And one of the most vital things to be aware of, your thoughts shorten or lengthen the karmic experience. We got a new box cutter this week, right? And I thought my finger was a box. Yeah, it took a couple of days and, Now, the key is, if my mind had become, and it was for about 20 seconds, I got to get the helichrysum out. I know what to do here. If I had carried that on and on and on and on, the karma would have extended on and on and on and on. It would not have stopped. It would not have stopped me in the middle of the margin activities. We need to know how to stop. The karma is the moment in which the event happens. But then the next part of the karma is your reaction to that. How are you looking at it? How are you reacting to it? How are you feeding it? Or how are you cutting it off? Now, the key, I keep saying to you, you have the freedom to choose. Do you have the skill to choose? Do you have the skills that you need to choose to step out of the stream of karma? Very, very simple, but very, very important. You need to strengthen the capacity to put your ego self aside. Who wants to do that? All right? Nobody wants to put their ego self aside. But we're living in a time where part of what is causing all the chaos in the world is all of the egos wanting supremacy. I'm, me, my wants, my desires, my needs, my greeds. I don't care about you. Boom, boom, boom. Oh no, netty. That is not the way. you do need to take care of your own needs. You need to make sure that you're taking care of your body, that you're drinking enough water, that you're eating enough food to keep it going. Not too much, not too little. As you are able, that you're moving, that you're exercising, that you're breathing, that you're meditating, which we will be doing in a moment, I assure you. I'm looking forward to that. But your everyday choices, your choices every single day. Oh, it's not once a day? It's not like going to a Sunday meditation. No. It is taking that part of your consciousness, and you've heard this before, but now it is more important than ever, to take a part of your consciousness, and sometimes it's called the observer self, sometimes it's called the blue light of self-awareness, but you take that part of your consciousness and you lift it above the chakra system. All right, you're lifting it about 18 inches above your head. It's out of the chakra system. Oh, that means it's not influenced by the karma that's flowing through the chakras. And all you're doing, my beloved, is you are gaining, you are strengthening every single day, until it's continual through the whole day. You're strengthening your capacity to watch the thoughts that rise and fall and rise and fall and rise and fall and flow through your consciousness. It's really simple. Maybe not so easy all the time to keep going, because the mind and its karmic attachments is very, very, very strong. It has convinced you, it convinced me for many years that it was in charge. And it is not. Your higher self is in charge. Not these habits, not these old patterns of the past, but your higher awareness. So you place that blue light of self-awareness above your head, if you will, above the chakra system. Just place it above your head, about 18 inches, 2 feet, something like that. And it has one capacity. One. I had 2 fingers up, one capacity. It can observe. It is, not becomes, but it is a part of your consciousness which has no capacity for judgment. Did you know that you do not have to have an opinion on everything that happens? Did you know that? Really? You're not required to have an opinion on everything that happens. Kind of hard to believe, isn't it? But this part of your consciousness simply records. It's a high definition recording device, if you will. Now, the key is you must go back to it during the day multiple times. Take a sip of water. What's it recording? 49 days. You do it for 49 days, and then it becomes a continuous recording, if you will. And unless your mind is really overwhelmed with a high degree of emotionality, it will work continually. Then when your mind is overwhelmed, at least it has the habit to go back to this again and again and again. It is the skill to choose to be free of what? Of all of the emotions that rise in your mind. Stop feeding them. Stop scrolling. Stop posting or reposting negative things. Try posting music. Try posting poetry. Try posting something that you have done or others have done that is beautiful. Talk about those things that are beautiful. Go out in nature. Be around beauty. Strengthen your capacity to free yourself from these emotions. You and I were living in Indra's net. I'm saying it again. You are a jewel in Indra's net. Let that jewel, that intersection that you are in the net, let it shine radiantly forth. Let it shine forth. And you may say, well, it's all so awful now, I can't bear it. It's all so awful now, I can't bear it. Or how can I live with this? And all of the other thoughts that rise to the mind, all the other anxieties that rise in the mind. And the answer is, what can I choose? What can I choose? What can I choose? I would like to share with you, I gave you the blue light I reminded you, many of you already have it, of the blue light of self-awareness. And that strengthening that skill gives you the capacity again and again and again to stop and say, well, okay, now I can choose to react differently to whatever comes into my aura. I can choose to speak with a softer voice, to speak with a kinder voice, to speak gentler, to reorient the imbalances that are within me, to face my own needs and greeds and desires and balance them out and neutralize them. I can choose to do that. You can choose to do that. This blue light of self-awareness will help you. Use the phrase, isn't that interesting? Allow that light to be curious. Curious, just curious. Wow, look at that. Like the director of the film. Oh, I want to see this one. I want to see that. How am I reacting to that? So it's not a dull, it's never a dull movie. Watching what goes on around you, watching what rises in your mind, it's not dull. I assure you of that. But it is interesting to watch, to see, what is causing it to become irritated. What causes your mind to become irritated? What's caused your mind to become irritated at any moment? Stop doing that. Choose to stop doing that. If you put your hand in the fire and it hurts, take your hand out. If you're in pain because you're near somebody who's yelling, take your ears away. Walk away. You don't have to get everybody else's approval, nor do you have to give them your approval. People often today are questioning, why is this happening? What's happening? Why is it? Read history. The more important question is, why did you and I reincarnate in a time where we are going to live through these experiences? Each of us having unique experiences. Please remember that. Your experience of this time is very different than my experience. Mine is different than yours. We can be in the same room, we can be in the same city, we can be in the same car, and our experiences are different. What is your experience? And what is the lesson of life that you are here to learn during this period? And I would say to you that our lesson, my lesson at least, is to learn to be more and more and more compassionate, to be filled with compassion, to be filled with non-judgmentalness, to be filled with equanimity, to be filled with ever greater wisdom. So maybe the next time around, it'll be a little more peaceful. Maybe the next time around, There won't be wars cropping up every place we turn. You know, it's kind of interesting. Every time a new war starts, the bombing continues in the old war, but everybody forgets about it. They don't talk about it anymore, you know. The war was, you know, first the war was there with Ukraine, and then the war was there with Gaza. We stopped talking about Ukraine, you know, on and on and on. Stop. Do not let that be what feeds you. I'd like to give you an affirmation that is part of the Kriya tradition. And it is to be used when you wake up in the morning. It's to be used when you go to sleep at night. It is a very powerful, strong affirmation. We link it sometimes to the drawing of the Om, but today I'm going to give it to you just as an affirmation, a prayer, if you will, but really more of an affirmation. It's very simple. The initials are SCAD. 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 And the phrase is, I shall now embrace on the path of maturity. The first is, I shall now embrace strength on the path of maturity. I shall now embrace strength on the path of maturity. Close your eyes and see it. See the S, the C, the A, the D. I shall now embrace strength on the path of maturity. Then is the C. I shall now embrace concentration on the path of maturity. I shall now embrace concentration on the path of maturity. I shall now embrace concentration on the path of maturity. And then you see the A. I shall now embrace awareness on the path of maturity. I shall now embrace awareness on the path of maturity. I shall now embrace awareness on the path of maturity. And then the D. I shall now embrace detachment on the path of maturity. I shall now embrace detachment on the path of maturity. I shall now embrace detachment on the path of maturity. SCAD, strength, concentration, awareness, detachment on the path of maturity. What is that path, my beloved? It is the path in which you and I walk, and we do not allow the emotions which rise in the mind, the childlike emotions, to run wild in our mind. Not very many moons ago, I was on the phone with my guru. More moons than I wish, but not very many. And I was complaining, and I was allowing the thoughts that rose in my mind to come out of my mouth. And I had gone on maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes, a very long time. And my guru says, Swamiji, how long are you going to do this till you're satisfied? And I burst out laughing. And I said, I don't know, Guruji, I don't know. He says, well, think about it. Maybe you could tune it down a little bit. Tone it down. When are you going to be satisfied? And stop this complaining. Every time I think about complaining these days, I hear that voice asking me, how long do you need to complain until you're going to be satisfied? So hear his voice through me asking you that question, and know that you can choose strength. The strength to do what? The strength to choose. The strength to choose to be kind. The strength to choose to stand up in the midst of all of the emotionality and be centered and be balanced. The strength to concentrate, to recognize that the emotions do not live with concentration. The strength to be aware, not to put on blinders, not to say, the strength to be aware, and the strength to be detached. Not indifferent, but to have great compassion for the karma that is unfolding in the world, the karma that is unfolding around you, within all of us, around us, to be detached from it so that we do not feed it. That is one of the greatest of the yogic Kriya Yoga principles. What you think about, what you speak about, what you do feeds the karma. Do not feed the violence. Feed the santosha, feed the peace, feed the contentment. Choose freely to develop the skills that you need, that I need, that we need to walk through these times. Use what you have. Use the skills that you have. You have deep skills. Use them. Know them. Recognize them. Do not be indifferent to the suffering and pain in the world. But do not allow yourself to be drawn down by them. We will have a little meditation now. Share a little meditation. I will lead you through the SCAD during the meditation. And I will ask you to choose to remember that. Write it down. When you have a chance, write it down. Speak it in the morning. Speak it at midday. Speak it at night. It should be one of the first things that you remember when you wake up in the morning, is that affirmation. You will gain strength. You will gain awareness. You will gain detachment. And all of those things will improve your skills of concentration. Walk through this next 10 days with ever greater awareness, ever greater diligence, ever greater softness, putting one foot in front of another, making sure that your thoughts and your actions do not light the match, that you do what you can to radiate love and kindness. We've had a great example of a world leader, Pope Leo, the Roman Catholic Church, in his recent public pronouncements that war is wrong, violence is wrong. that it must be stopped, joined by the Dalai Lama and other world religious leaders. Know that the violence in your mind is where it must first be stopped. And then in your mouth. And then in your actions. May we all be blessed with patience, with strength, concentration, awareness, and detachment. Namaste Ji. Namaskar. Sitting with your spine erect as you are able, place your hands in the Om Mudra, the index finger and the thumb together, cupped upward upon your thighs. Focusing your attention at the sun center, the point between your eyes. Close your eyes and focus your eyes upward at the sun center. Turn your head to the left, exhaling twice. Bring the head back to the center and begin to watch the breath. With the next inhalation of the breath, pull the energy from the limbs of the body to the trunk of the body. With a sipping breath, pull the energy from the trunk of the body to the spinal column. From the base of the spine, pull the energy up to the sun center. Now move that energy as a golden ball of light out in front of you. Expand it. Sweep it around your body, going counterclockwise 3 times. Encase your entire being in golden light. And now ascend. Ascend to the high place of meditation. Ascending above the room you're in. Above the building. Above the earth plane. Om Namo 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 Ascend to the high place of meditation. Call upon your chosen form of the divine to join you here. Your Ishtadevata, the divine in whatever name and form is meaningful to you. And greet the Divine One. In your mind's eye, you see a golden circle of light. It's a mirror You see the letters S, C, A, D, gazing again the word strength, concentration, awareness, detachment, strength, concentration, awareness, detachment. Each time you see the letter, the word, it becomes brighter and clearer to your mind. Strength, concentration, awareness, detachment, strength, concentration, awareness, detachment. As the mandala is in front of you, gaze at it, and then speak the affirmation. It is a vow that you are taking to yourself. This is a commitment that you make to yourself. I shall now embrace strength on the path of maturity. Inhaling, I shall now embrace concentration on the path of maturity. I shall now embrace awareness on the path of maturity. I shall now embrace detachment on the path of maturity. See the mandala in front of you. See the strength solidifying in golden light. Concentration solidifying in golden light. Awareness solidifying in golden light. Detachment solidifying in golden light. Take this golden mandala, this sacred vow that you have made to yourself, to embrace strength, concentration, awareness, detachment. Bring it close to your sun center. And with your breath, inhaling draw it over your spinal column. See that golden mandala flow down your spine. Into the trunk of your body, into the limbs of your body, filling every cell of your being with the SCAD mandala. Letting every breath that you breathe feed your vow, strengthen your vow, strengthen your skills. Now return your attention to your mind's eye, holding this mandala within you. At this moment, bring forth the most beautiful object of beauty to you at this time. Most beautiful form of life at this moment. Breathe in that object of beauty. Sharpen the camera of your mind's eye. Feel the beauty. Taste the beauty. Hear the sound of the beauty. Breathe in the beauty. Become absorbed in the beauty. Now see, my beloved, from your higher mind, gaze down at your being and see the beauty that thou art, the light radiating forth from thee like a golden gem, an emantine diamond. See Indra's net gazing through your mind's eye. That brilliant light of beauty radiating throughout all of Indra's net. Tat Sat, thou art that. Radiate that beauty throughout all of Indra's net. Breathe the beauty that thou art. O ye powers that be, thou knowest better than we the needs of the earth. We call upon thee as we send forth our blessings, as we radiate this light and goodness. We ask thee simply this, that the karma of all beings be softened. Swiftly, surely, and most harmoniously. And softly, silently, or aloud, whichever you prefer, feeling that light radiating throughout all of Indrasnet, throughout the entire earth, and into all of the universes. Let us chant the Om Shanti mantra, that the karma of all beings will be softened. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om, the sound of all reality. Shanti, the infinite peace, pervading the infinite peace to all reality. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Again, bring your mind back, your attention back to the sun center. Focus it again. Fill yourself with the beauty that thou art. And radiate that beauty throughout all of Indrasnet. as we chant Om, the sound of all reality. Shanti, 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 infinite, infinite peace. Again, the attention at your sun center, the point between your eyes. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. 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 Be thou blessed. Be thou blessed. Be thou triply blessed. Thou art a blessing. Become an ever greater blessing unto all of those who enter your aura. A greater, greater blessing. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste. Namaskar. Thank you for the blessings of your presence, your spiritual energies. We're here to walk softly, gently, as quietly as we can. Follow the example of my beloved sister Sylvia, only posting good, positive things if you're going to do that. Have a good week. Walk softly, quietly, safely, and gently this week. Namaste, Ji. And always.